Hey everybody, it's your girl, Pjamma, with PJammalyfe. And we got a host of family-friendly holiday movies. We have The School for Good and Evil, and The Curse of Bridge Hollow, as well as Werewolf by Night. And, and Andor, as well as the penultimate episode of House of Dragons, otherwise known as Dim Thrones. So to my right, hey, I got it, is our esteemed professor of all things Star Wars. Say hey to the people, David.
Hello, everybody. By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. We're getting into the Halloween mood here, everybody. So glad to be with you tonight. Get that jack-o'-lantern out and start carving up that pumpkin. Here we go.
All right, he got poetry and everything else with us this week. We might have to call him the professor of all things Poe. But
well,
we also have
of love.
Oh gosh, now you ruined it. Then we have to this side our professor of all things Tolkien and the expert in all things Marvel, Patrick. Say hi to the people.
Hey everybody, we got some good stuff and some okay stuff for you this week to talk about. Be a good time. Just ready to share my views.
So let's get started with the highly anticipated film version of The School for Good and Evil. Let's take a peek.
School for Good and Evil. Don't tell me you've never heard of it. It's where the true story behind every great fairy tale begins. Ooh. The School for Good trains the heroes. The School for Evil, the villains.
You're trying to tell me that Snow White and Cinderella and Jack and the Beanstalk were real?
One doesn't measure one's goodness just by how one looks. No, it's about what one does.
There is a good chance none of us will survive. Lady Lesso, none of us.
Okay. Let's ask David. David, what do you think of The School for Good and Evil?
I found this to be actually quite fun and entertaining. The lead actresses, when I say the lead actresses, I mean the big names playing the instructors here, Charlize Theron, Kerry Washington, Michelle Yeoh. Man, you could tell they were just having a ball. They cashed that check and they were eating it up to play these kind of over-the-top people. And I, too, have failed a smiling class, so I feel for the kids. It was entertaining when you have the world building and all with Harry Potter. This might, I think we even talked about it before, it forces you a little bit to compare and contrast. There's no comparison, obviously, in terms of its literary quality and all, in my mind. But I thought this was entertaining. It did ask the questions about what is good and what is evil and those things. It was fun. Good performances by all the cast. So it was something fun, and I could take the adorable little girl, 6, 7 years old, that I see going to school every day with her mom, who loves my dog. I could take her to see that, and it would be a fun time for all.
Patrick, you and I have both read the book. So what did you think of the movie version?
Well, to quote you, Pam, you've said this a lot of times about a lot of movies. Trash. It was reductive. It was reductive. I mean, it was Harry Potter simplified. I mean, and Dave had a very true point in there that those actors and actresses, they took that check and they went home. I mean, Charlize Theron didn't. I mean, it was okay, but it was not spectacular. Lawrence Fishburne, okay, not spectacular. I mean, it felt like Harry Potter had got dumbed down. Okay, instead of 4 houses, let's just have 2 houses. Let's have a bad house and a good house. We don't need those other houses. There's a smart house and a friendly house. No, we don't need that. We'll just make it dumbed down, and let's put people in the wrong spot, and they'll be really cool. It was not that great. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I did not. I mean, C minus. I mean, that's as good as it's gonna get for me.
Maybe not as strong, but I agree with Patrick. It's not quite trash, but it's lobbing a wadded up, I think, the book into the trash. It just kind of, this Paul Feig? I don't know. I mean, he's messed up many a good book or a good story, like what he did to Ghostbusters, the new one. He really trashed that one. And I felt like the way they told the story robbed the Agatha of her agency. And they kind of, I mean, in the book, Agatha believes that she's not attractive, and she's like from a really rough part of town. Family's really poor, so she doesn't have the money to really take care of herself. And Sophia spends all of extra money trying to make herself look pretty. And Sophia was much meaner in the book to Agatha. And so they kind of like, I felt like they didn't do the book justice. I think maybe if you hadn't read the book, this is like easy and fun. But when you read the book and you know how much they changed and watered down the characters, and then the whole storyline that they brought in with the blood magic and none of that was in the book. So
wow. That's a huge premise of the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, they changed the premise of the whole thing, and it cheated the girls out of their story too. And I did not like how Agatha was talking to the teachers. I just was like, you hella disrespectful. I don't like this at all. I couldn't like get into the girls because they were so disrespectful. I just no. I mean, now, if you hadn't read the book and you just watch it on its own, you may really enjoy it. I also suggest that you read the book, and then you can judge it for yourself. And I'm going to do a review of the book and the movie. So this was a tiny bit of a preview. So definitely a mixed review, but check out both the book and the movie of The School for Good and Evil. Okay, up next is Marlon Wayans starring in his first serious horror comedy of The Curse of Bridge Hollow. Let's take a look.
Look, Sid, I know you're gonna miss Brooklyn, okay? But you won't miss the smell of hydrogen sulfide every morning. Because Bridge Hollow smells like apples and a hint of white privilege.
Well, hey, listen, you picked a hell of a time to move in. As you can see, everybody around here kind of goes crazy around Halloween, huh?
That's not disturbing at all.
Eat lead bastard!
There once lived a wicked man, a stingy jack.
So that's why they call them jack-o'-lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to start looking at the world scientifically. Then you realize that all these crazy things have a much more realistic explanation. Halloween decorations coming to life, that's just not something that happens.
Rob Riggle, 2012 Kansas of the Year. Yes. Super Jayhawk. Trash. This one was trash. Well, let me be fair. If you have preteens, 10 to 12, 9 to 12, they might like it. It's kind of in the style of Goosebumps. So, you know, if your kids kind of like that kind of spooky, scary stuff, they might like this. Discerning adults, maybe not. David, what did you think?
Is there been any movie that David Wayans has made that's good?
Marlon.
White chicks.
Whatever Wayans he is. There's some good Wayans movies, but I don't think he usually plays a role in making any of them good.
Wasn't he in that drug movie? He was amazing.
Boys in the Hood.
And he was incredible in Bel Air. He has some acting chops, but
I'm not a fan of this one either.
White Chicks is a cult classic, scary movie, cult classic. Dude can do funny.
All right. The scary movies are just so horrible. Those are not cult classics.
Those are hilarious.
Oh my God, Dave! I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
Those are hilarious.
They're the pinnacle of parody for the '90s. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, and the parody should have ended with like Airplane 1 and maybe that movie with Val Kilmer with the cow.
Oh, Top Gun.
No.
Was it Top? What was it?
Well, Hot Shots and Hot Shot 2. Those were pretty good. I think we can stop the
Top Secret. I think it's what it was.
Top Secret.
Top Secret was brilliant. Skeet Shooting USA. I sing that every day in the shower. But this movie is, I didn't like it. I was just glad I didn't have to really pay for it. It's kind of like an indirect cost. It's an admin charge for what I have. Otherwise, it would not have been fun to be watching that show. So, yeah, I'm definitely not in favor of this one.
Yeah, Pat, what did you think?
Well, I thought Hocus Pocus 3 was a little weird when they recast it. And that's what it felt like. Instead of lighting the black light candle, we lit the lantern. And I'm like, ugh. And then it just wasn't fun. It felt like a Disney Channel movie that didn't do that well.
Yeah, it's like the worst of the Disney Channel movies.
Yeah.
But little kids might like it. So, I'm not going to tell parents not to see it, but watch it with kids. Don't try to watch it just as an adult.
Or watch it with edibles, and then maybe it'll be better. I don't know.
I wasn't going to say that, but that might make it super funny, and you will giggle the whole time. So...
a little cornbread hit
for bullshit, but it's unanimous. No. All right, next. Although we have something special or something wicked, kinda. Your black and white dreams may be haunted by a werewolf at night. Let's take a peek.
Hunters have gathered from around the globe. Strangers until this night. For a ceremonial hunt which will decide who next will wield the Bloodstone.
Not this way. Just kill me as I am. Otherwise there will be no mercy, I promise.
What aspect of Bloodstone are we after exactly? The strength it lends? The protection? Longevity?
Bruce, so what I do with it after I've earned it will be none of your business. To be honest, that might be the best part.
There is only one Bloodstone. And it can have only one keeper. It was to be his daughter's, but through decades of absence, Elsa has long forsaken that birthright. Those who do not survive will be honored appropriately. For tonight, it is every hunter for themselves.
Patrick, you've read this series.
Well, I've read comics that had a lot of the characters in it. I enjoyed the feel of it because it it really kind of harkened back to the Lon Chaney and
yes,
yeah, it did.
The whole Universal Marvel or the Universal monsters. I mean, it really had that feel to it.
Yeah.
The surprise addition to me, Swamp Thing, was amazing. I was like, hell yeah, see him in there. I mean, it was. I thought it was pretty very well done. As far and it was a well paced.
Yeah.
It was only an hour. I mean, it was a little over an hour, a little under an hour.
Little under.
So it was a good length. You didn't have to get too bogged down into it. Elsa Bloodstone's obviously one of the not obviously to anybody else, but maybe to me, she's one of the primary like supernatural characters. She floats in and out of a lot of books where she's with Blade and Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, and Doctor Strange, and all the mystical group. She's definitely in there. She's like one of those minor characters that kind of comes in and out all the time through different books. And Swamp Thing had his own book for a lot of years, and he's kind of fallen back into his. Stan Lee created him, so it's like definitely golden age stuff. Really good. I thought it was well done. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Great. David, what'd you think?
I did too. I thought it was a lot of fun. Here's a name of just one of the really talented character actresses that if you've been around for a while and have seen, I love her, Harriet Sansom Harris.
Yes.
Who can do a lot of things. She was just over the top delicious in Frasier as his agent for years and years. Wonderful to see her. I found this to be entertaining. I love the macabre feel of it. Not too scary, but entertaining. Yeah, this was good. I was a little surprised about Swamp Thing. I figured at that point, not doing any prep on things, I just kind of took it where it was, but I can certainly see how there would be comic book characters with this. And this was good. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was like one of the best little Marvel things I've seen in a while. I mean, just everything worked. The cinematography, the black and white, the use of the black and white was beautiful. I mean, just it looked beautiful.
That's some good horror when you can use the black and white.
Yeah. And the story, I believed all the characters, it wasn't somebody that was kind of like, what is up with that person or something? Everybody, and you're right, David, Harriet Sansom
Harris.
Harris
Sansom Harris, yeah.
I mean, she is just, and she's aged perfectly. They didn't try to make her into some bombshell, or Botoxed up to Jesus. And but she is just believable and incredible and creepy, like super creepy. And Elsa, the woman playing her was just beautiful.
She was an Outlander.
Yeah, yes, I really enjoyed her. And so it's just, and Ted was great. I love him. It was so great. And I noticed that if you've ever watched the great film Y Tu Mama Tambien, both of those actors are now part of Disney Marvel. So Andor and then what's his name? The werewolf. Jack. Was it Jack? Jack the werewolf, which is crazy. So definitely check out. I think we all agree, right? Definitely, it's a perfect amuse-bouche of a horror movie. And the whole family can watch it. So there you go. Definitely check it out. Okay, next up, boy, it's been just ratcheting towards excellence. Here we go, the aftermath of the heist in Andor. Let's take a look.
The criminals responsible for last night's atrocity on Aldani think they've taken the Empire by surprise. We know the real shock will be when they discover how ready and eager we are to respond.
It was you, wasn't it?
it's time for that as well.
Palpatine won't hesitate now.
Exactly. We need it.
Cassian Andor, who you know as Clem.
We can't have him walking around with Luthen in his head.
You mean kill him?
This is what revolution looks like, Val.
Can't hide forever.
This is not our fight, Cass. Don't worry, they won't be here long. They're just gonna raise their silly flag and fly away.
Okay, David, our professor at Star Wars, what you thinking?
This is truly just beautifully done. It's a masterpiece. How exciting it was. You know, you see these 3-story arcs where the big action is in the third piece, generally speaking. And so we're starting off again, somewhat slow for some people's taste, but just brilliant world building. We see more aliens. Could have used a few from the original movie. I think that one criticism I might have a little bit harkens. It looks a little bit too much like the requels than the original Star Wars. That one criticism. Love the world building. This is where people go on vacation, on holiday. We saw that. And one of the great all-time little Easter egg moments where we see on screen the reprising of the role of Colonel Wolf Yularen. If you've watched Clone Wars, you know the Yularen character was in the cartoon, but this is actually taken from just that initial Death Star briefing room with Tarkin, and the one guy in the cream-colored outfit. You see him a couple of times in the movie, but he had a great speaking role there. Really made a fun character in Clone Wars, the cartoon. But this was awesome to see him. Man, I'm just loving this. And Federal service in the Empire. Doesn't that look grand? Boy, that's a really unattractive cubicle that's there in that bleak.
Oh, I thought it was kind of fly. I was like, well, it looked kind of stylish until you saw tick, 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 and you saw hundreds of them.
it is more fly than, say, Federal Building 6 in Southwest. Whatever that building might be. I was last in there. I was given a walk-in closet for my desk, but this was just wonderful to see. Loving it. Mon Mothma, all of the guys. This is just fantastic. I could go on and on. Can't wait for episode 8. And thank goodness they're giving us 38, 40, 50 minutes for each of these episodes. You really need that. You really want that. This was fun stuff, boy. Tell you what.
Yeah, Pat, what do you think?
It's really good. I enjoy seeing, the story's moving along. It's interesting to see how it feels like almost the rebellion is getting out of Mon Mothma's hands into, the Stellan Skarsgård character. Like, he might be kind of, I want to do my own thing. You're moving too slow. And it's beautiful looking. It's still definitely a character-driven thing. And you talk about the cubicles and that shot and shot and shot. So you see how many hundreds of thousands. I'm like, my Lord, in an era when they have robots, you'd think they might automate some of this shit, but whatever, I'm just I'm enjoying where it's going. I'm interested to see. The story is engaging. I'm not as deep in the lore as David is, obviously, but good stuff.
Yeah, and I thought it was really good pacing and good character development in the story, because you see Mon Mothma, things are kind of moving along. She thinks she has the reins on it, but the horse is moving faster and faster and faster and faster. And, Stellan Skarsgård, it's beautiful to watch him be the jovial, seller of an antiques dealer, and then switch to that brutal kind of rebellion leader type guy. And it's so subtle, what he does with his voice and what he does with his mannerisms, it's just that dude, you just know he's just a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
A lot of people couldn't pull it off, but he's perfectly believable. And Ben Miles as her friend, he's been in a lot of movies. My Martha's childhood friend, Banker.
Oh, yeah.
I just love watching him and their little interplay.
Oh, yeah.
That was really brilliant. And Fiona Shaw, and Cassian, that scene was brilliant. You could see her just being like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there in my best coat and walk around and know in my heart that something's going on. So I thought that, that was really great. And it was interesting the how they ended it up with, because I was kind of confused. I was like, well, how are you gonna be in jail for 6 years? We're gonna get prison scenes. What's happening? So it'll be interesting. It's always, as it is, interesting to see where they're gonna go next. And this is how you do a series, and build and build and build. Unlike what we saw from some of the other series we watched this month, this one you can really see progression, and you can see how it's building. Whereas other ones were kind of up, down, and so definitely, if you get a chance, check out Andor. All right, so finally we got one more. Woo! Aunties are here, baby. And House of the Dragon, or Dim Thrones. Let's check it out.
He has left us a gift. With his last breath, he impressed upon the Queen his final wish that his son, Aegon, should succeed him as Lord of the Seven Kingdoms.
Find him. Bring him to me and me alone, Sir Eric.
What is the meaning of this?
I want to go first. Awesome! This week's episode was incredible. Oh, so much to chop up. Actually, Pat, why don't you go ahead and start? Because you've read the books.
Okay. You say this every week, but I read the book like 2 years ago. Just in full disclosure, so it's a faint memory.
Good. That way you won't be influenced by it.
Well, no, I mean, great episode. Everybody's making moves in this thing. Some of them don't play out exactly how they thought they would.
Yeah.
The king who doesn't want to be the king, he wants to just whore around for a while. So, sure that's what 20-something-year-old dudes want to do.
Amongst other evil, hateful things he's doing.
I mean, he's gonna do what he's gonna do. I mean,
I don't think 20-year-olds do that kind of stuff. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, anyway, but I mean, he's just a terrible person to a certain extent because he's been rich and privileged his whole life. That no surprise it ends up like this. I mean, it's great. And this episode they took time to build some actual better time pacing. I think they did this time than they did in some of the other ones. Kudos to the Ante there, who could run all the way from the Sept all the way to the Dragon Pit, get on her armor and mount up and drag her dragon back through the pit, make a surprise entrance. Wow. But
best entrance besides the Valerians coming in to hers was the best entrance.
Here's a great, one of these things, man, you know how much trouble you could have saved. Just go ahead and just toast all of them.
I know.
I
That
mean-
was an interesting choice they made to do that. I get it. Maybe she was a mother. She didn't want to do that to another mother, maybe. You know, and she had honored. You know, she's a good person.
That doesn't end up well, generally speaking, but in this particular world.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I mean, but great episode. I mean, really, it's keeping my attention, even though it's been kind of rough through some of the larger time jumps they've done. But great stuff.
Yeah.
But actually better than Game of Thrones, I would say, so far.
Yeah. This something. Yeah. Certainly better than that last season of Game of Thrones.
That last season of Game of Thrones is trash.
Well, the last season was disappointing on a lot of levels. From a first season to a first season, this one for me, it doesn't hold up to the first season of Game of Thrones.
You know, you may be correct. The more I think about it, because I think just the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones just left such a bitter taste in everybody's mouth that it tends to sour parts of the series. I mean, before that, it was must watch.
Yeah, was brilliant.
And part of it is you have at a certain point. Well, I think they did kind of take characters that were beloved and like twisted them at the end. People will have an expectation of what they think it's going to be, and then when it doesn't happen, then it really hurts when you get invested in it. But this season, outside of the fact that you've got, you know, the characters, you don't know who's going to be playing the roles from one week to the next is with the time jumps. It's been a lot of fun. It's amazing. And I'm trying to think about, you know, the motivation of the lady. On one hand, she knows it's not really officially her grandkids that would get the throne this way, but it seems in the spirit of girl power, she stands with what, you know, like I was denied a throne because I'm a woman. They're doing the same thing to Rhaenyra, however you say her name. So she's going to stand with them. She'd given her word. She believes in that. But you're right. You're right there. You got your own big grill right there. Just cook it up, crank it up, boom, end of everything. I mean,
it could have prevented the war that I'm sure is coming. It could have prevented a lot of lives, but I think she just couldn't do it. It's family too, so she couldn't just kill family like that.
Same family just locked her in a damn tower.
Yeah, but they didn't kill her. I mean,
yeah.
You know, yeah. But David, I have to disagree. She's also, her granddaughters would be in the royal family because remember, they're going to be married to Lucerys and Jaehaerys.
Oh, yeah.
So they will be on the throne. So that is another motivation too, you know, that her line still, you know, lives on through them. So yeah.
They get to keep the name and all that. But I think that is a fair point. But it's been a fun show. Looking forward to next week. Finally, I love Patty. He's done a great job. But man, I mean, there's little bits and pieces of him falling off everywhere. I thought he was going to die like 4 episodes ago. I'm glad he's taken up the ghost because man, he was looking pretty harsh there. So, but pretty
can we talk about Allison's OnlyFans situation?
whoa, yeah.
But you know, besides that was just gross, but there was so much subtlety that they wrote into that. So really, what's his name, Larys did was take her power too in that scene. So he made the queen like allow him to, I mean, seeing a woman's ankles back then was a big deal. It was like flashing boobs or something. And he knew he couldn't do that, but look what he forced her to do, you know? So that's him exercising power too in a creepy way. I mean, this show just keeps pushing the envelope with what you'll accept, right? First it was incest. That's it. Now it's foot fetishes.
Incest at a funeral.
It's
on top of a coffin.
I know, right? But my thing too is Allison is trash because she's sitting up here doing all this stuff. But her poor husband's rotting away in the bed for like 4 days or something. She's not even trying to get him buried and like entombed at least or something. He's just like, oh. I'm like, God, girl, you are the worst. And the other character, I was like, girl, shut up. Masseria. She really peed in her chili. I mean, I was like, what are you doing? You trying to flex on the hand of the king who's right now trying to kill all of his people who are a threat to him? I was like, girl, you are not playing this game very well. Your Game of Thrones game is weak. So Laris took care of her. So I thought that was I just was like, no, shut up, White Worm, go slither back, don't do it to yourself. And then she couldn't help herself. Now she did. So and I guess the other scene that I really did appreciate was looking at the poor Helena. Helena been trying to tell them the truth, but they kind of made her character like Cassandra in the mythology, who tells the truth, but no one will listen. And she's steady trying to tell people. Every time she speaks, some prophecy comes out. And this time she kept trying to say, beware the beast beneath the boards. And you notice that Alicent stepped in front of Aegon, but nobody helped Helena. And the only person who moved towards her was Aemond. And so I was like, oh, wow, all this is going on. And poor Helena, when you saw the little dig she gave Aemon when he turned, when he was at the coronation, and you're all supposed to bow, she just kind of went, ugh. A totally disrespectful bow. I just thought it was just really like there was a lot of sly little things going on throughout the episode, which was great. Rhaenyra's big moment was perfect. I was so glad. I think she had her armor underneath her outfit though. That hood and that the cloak.
Well,
because you didn't see, because she was tightly bound up. So I think she had her armor with her and changed and, went through the streets. But I thought it was great that she just came out. She was like, oh, okay. When the queen was trying to tell her, hey, I'm doing this for women. I'm doing it for you and us. And she was looking at her like, bitch, I don't need your help. I'm already a queen. It was great. Then she just showed her, oh, you forgot that I'm a warrior too. So let me show you who I am. So I just thought it was a great episode. I can't believe next week is the finale. I guess tomorrow is the finale. And so we'll definitely be talking about it next week because I'm sure it's going to be something to remember. Yeah. So check out House of the Dragon tonight. Watch it again. I might have to watch the whole series. Start in the morning and watch it all the way to get ready for the finale. So definitely check it out because you want to watch it tomorrow. Don't wait. I heard that the episode has already been snuck and leaked out, but don't watch it. Watch it regular so you can talk about it with everybody else. All right. Well, that takes us to the end. And next week we have scary movies for next week. We have Halloween Ends. But will it? The newest in the series.
In the long line.
Hellraiser. Can't wait to watch it. And read the Hellbound Heart. by Clive Barker, the original short story that started it all. Brilliant. As well as Andor and the finale of House of the Dragon. So, some good stuff next week. Scary stuff. So, David, what you got to say goodnight? Say goodnight to the people.
Good night, everybody. Enjoy this week. Have a lot of fun watching stuff. Get your costumes out. Get ready to celebrate. Go trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Wear those costumes wherever you want. Put that mask on and have a blast.
Hey. And brush your teeth and floss. Magic, say goodnight to the people.
Good night, everybody. If you get bored, try to find a Home Depot skeleton and put it together in your front yard. Pretty fun.
Well, what is it, about 12 feet tall?
12 feet tall.
He's got a 12-foot skeleton in front of his house.
Oh, wow.
Because his wife loved it. He's such a good hubby. Oh. Yeah. And we may be having some Halloween interesting stuff going on next week. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely come back and check out our scary Halloween episode of PJammalyfe. Take care. Bye.